In the whole of Baldur's Gate 3 there are 4 different difficulty options, but only one of it differences real gamers like me from casuals that play to have fun, and that difficulty is honor mode. Now there is a bunch of different builds and tutorials and all of these things on the internet to be sure to get through honor mode with ease. But now I wake up from the grave to show you that you so much don't need them. You just need a bit of oil in your brain and a bit of carefulness. And I will show you that only by using animals in the fights. I mean, there is no more to say about it. The only rules I would say are that the damage must come from animal source, such as Druid, Wild Shape, Beastmaster Companion or Elementals, as I cannot deal any damage when in human form. Healing, buffing and using consumables such as pots, void bulbs, it's allowed. I should also try to use different Wild Shape animals at all times, but if I'm stubborn, I'll just use 4 owl bears because they're OP. I am allowed to shapeshift out of the form though, to talk to NPCs, take quests, etc. It's an honor mode, so all the XP is valuable. I think that's all the rules, and if I forget some, I'll add them in later. And also I started recording it after part 7, so I hope we will see some new things, but for now we start with the good old character creation. And for this time I wanted to try and play Githyanki. Always been opposing them, so I might as well finally give them a shot. I made our old and wise brown Gith called the Animal Urge, and also gave him the other pair down there. You know what I mean. Cause why the heck not? I gave him only buff spells, and when it comes to the Nautiloid, I skipped everything up. And I mean everything. Or maybe not, cause I still squashed the Mind Consumer. But then I sacrificed myself so that Lae'zel could skip the imps and the transponder fight. Then I woke up at the beach with the casual "can't control, you're dead" text on the bottom, and went to get level 2 from Shadowheart. I somehow convinced her to join my bestial cause, but she didn't give me 2nd level, so I also let her spank me, because I didn't want to have the "you're dead" text all the time. So of course the next steps were to get the Harry Potter and stomp at the Mind Flare for finally level 2 and my first animal damage dealer. I then took Mind Consumers by surprise with my giant bear form and got Astarion. And for a while I said goodbye to my members to go to camp, because at the time I wanted to do that I would always be in the shape form.
Can't make it, the shit's stuck.
That's why when later I wanted to get Lae'zel, I didn't, because I didn't have any ranged attacks and also didn't have enough boxes to get to her. And when I went to get the boxes, the fucking robbers wanted to hurt my spider form, so I had to retreat to camp, making Lae'zel ultimately escape on her own and go whatever the heck she went. But I'm sure I found her eventually in the future. But I just said screw this and went to the Goblin Battle Royale, basically as 1 companion and 3 punching bags. But surprisingly the AI was somehow competent and we won the skirmish. Oh yeah, and Gale's Necrosis doesn't count as me dealing damage, so after the fight I punched the young pucky son of a at his jaw and sent him to sleep. That was still the time I always wanted to be in the wild shape, so I didn't manage to talk to anyone. And then the Oxys and release Arabella from Koga. I rage quitted and went to get spider grenades, but then guess what? I couldn't because I was a bear. I then went to the Edwin Ballcocks and I had to execute them in a very fashionable and nice way. I then got Scratch and Karlach for the free XP and then returned to the robbers with my bear form and 3 punching bags. And this fight tingled my brain a little, and I was a little worried for a while that I would lose the honor run on the fucking thief links, but I got stuck in an endless loop of eternity of killing Gale, but Astarion insta-reviving him and Animal Urge kept shredding his back with the bear's claws. I then set off for an easy bits of XP, for example the Aradin's Rainbow Company that got mauled by the bear form. I took out a Goblin and not goblins, a goblin, just 1, and completely devastated Alfira whilst I was sleeping. Then took out another goblins, yes, goblins, this time plural, and went into the putrid bog, or finally level 3. That let me shapeshift everyone into some kind of animal, and I gave Astarion a furry form, Gale got the stinky badger, and Shadowheart got a spider. Then with the happy company I went to the robber's place and dropped a ton of cement on the ground to open the way to the next robbers. But it turned out that I didn't even need to build a tower of these boxes to the cement, so I just wasted like 5 minutes of collecting boxes because it somehow just glitched and TP'd out and ate through the ground. This fight at the start I find almost very tricky, but I managed to get it through without major problems, so I mean, it was fine. I then robbed the crypt for useless loot because, as you know, wild ships cannot use anything, or there's maybe like one armor that works, and got to the place I'm always waiting for when doing all 4 classes playthrough. The Withers Fight Club, which was so goddamn easy this time. I remember struggling with it with the bards, but druids did it so fucking well. After the Fight Club, Withers gave us his services as our new boxing coach and switched the punching bags classes to full druids. Now at night, Butler gave me the cloth that I would probably never use whatsoever, since almost none of the items again work with the wild shape form, but maybe when I change into Beastmaster Ranger. I then paid a visit to the Chinese fake ass paladins with my bear family, and even though I surprised them, Gale still died. It's Anders that smites you to dust every time you fight him. I mean, it took a bit of time because of Anders' high fucking armor class, but we got him and his other pals at the cost of Astarion and Gale. I got checkpoint and then wandered thinking, what should I do next? Because I wasn't so sure of how powerful these animals are, at the time at least, and I got reality checked when I went to the blighted village and got wrecked pretty hard, and I had to flee the battle to not lose the run. Next, I organized my equipment and said screw it to the always being in wild shape rule, and I started off by robbing the little man since it was still before patch 7 installed, and spoiler, they took the vendor glitch out, so next time I booted up the game, it didn't work. Then I convinced Roland to stay with the tieflings, teach one how to fight, talk to Zoru, rob Damon, I scammed the scammers, talk to Arabella's parents, talk to Volo, rescue the girl in the mountain. And somewhere in between I've let Arca kill Zaza because I've always helped her, so I just wanted to get her dead now. Then talk to Kaga, then talk to Nettie and Zevlor, and embark to the blighted village once again, but now with a whole new approach. The so-called stealth approach. I set up everyone in their spots and with an 88% chance, I believe, to hit and kill the goblin. While still surprised, I obviously missed. But overall this fight went way smoother than it went last time, so I mean, I'm happy. After the fight I took a long rest and I've let Astarion bite myself because I mean I don't know, I just want people happy now. After this night I wanted to convince Lump to get his horror, but it didn't work out. So to convert him to XP, I wanted to drop blocks of wood on his bald ass head. I distracted them with my superior cat form, but when I hit the wooden support, nothing happened. And my animals got, let's say, bonked by the ogres. So I had to do a tactical retreat, then tried my forces in a fight against the oppressors of Barkus, which in, guess what, I failed again and had to retreat again. So I took the route to their main camp and then intimidated the green blood to let me in. I stole from the goblin trader and sent Volo into a cage because he was starting to annoy me a little bit, but we will break him out later. I got in and went for a private lap dance from Priestess God, but it turned out for her that it was actually a pretty brutal lap dance, ending in her death and vanishing and then appearing right in our camp so that no one would know what happened. And the next leader was Minthara, whose death was quite spectacular by looking at her fall into the void right next to the cat that baited her there. And I think I bugged the goblin because he didn't care that his leader just died in front of his eyes. I took a long rest and headed out to save Cave Bear. I set up my animals and struck the green scum, and I was a bit worried because I thought that the one shitling who escaped would summon the whole goblin army, but he didn't, so we just cleared the mud eaters and talked with Halcyon. I went to release the tortured guy and I've let myself get whipped for a few times just to get the Leviathan's laugh, but I realized that I have Halcyon, who is additional animal, so I started to assassinate every bit of goblin there was before going to, I think, the most difficult goblin leader, and I got level 4 for everyone, and that's where the power spike came to be. Everyone got Tavern Brawler, which enhanced our damage by so much. I convinced Jor that I wasn't a threat and went to steal few barrels because I needed them for Jor Ragzlin. I was a bit scared because he has been always screwing me up and I needed to be sure. So I destined my 2 companions for a suicide mission of kamikaze on him. And so I did. I placed down a bunch of explosives and baited him with the kitty form and then, well, ignited the fuse.
Kaboom!
Didn't kill him right away, so I finished him with animals. I then rescued Volo. I let him lobotomize me, like in every playthrough. and looted the Red Goblin's treasure. I went back to camp to get my rewards, talk to Zevlor, and look at Kaka's failed plan. Next up was to kill Borkus' oppressors and let him go free, cause we are the good guys, of course, right? And at this fight I realized just how OP the Tavern Brawler feat was on the animals. Then I let him go and made a move on the ogres that got totally obliterated, and I was even surprised by how effective was Scrutch in this fight. I for some time thought he also got the Tavern Brawler feat, and I had to pull some maneuver to clear off the gate of the Goblin camp, and I mean real 4D chess there with bird tactics. But there was even more moves when going into the actual camp, because I used Scratch to lure all the goblins out and lead them into trap of my animals, and I cleared them all one by one. And basically the same happened with the goblins that were deeper, but I had to flee once because I woke up the drunkards that were on the top floors.
Oh my... You've got to be kidding me now.
I then took 3 long rests from Zevlor, because why not, in which I seduced Shadowheart into spending a great night with me, since Lae'zel might be dead by now, I don't know. That's why I decided I'll seduce Shadowheart until I find Lae'zel. After the night we cleared off the green boyos and we went into their lair, where again I played basically Hitman with all the jumps and sneaking around to surprise them. I let the spiders out of the cage and finished off any resistance that was in the caves. Then the party got to Underdark, where I had to build tower to disable the turret, but Underdark wasn't for my level now, or at least I thought, and I decided to kill gnolls and hyenas and got to Council Floric, who I saved. I also wanted to help the poor naked man, but my animals were too stupid to find the dowry in the hay bale. Then I almost got my whole party deleted by the angry half bull half naked man, and got to the mushroom people, who surprisingly could talk to animals. I robbed the traders there. I accepted Omelium's offer and recruited Glut, but I wouldn't use his attack since he was a plant, but I will use his power to revive hook horrors, for example. I freed the bald idiot in the mushroom zone. I didn't kill the bullet.
No, come on.
And then I made my way to the greatest battlefield of all, the Hook Horror Battle Royale, where it was like free-for-all between my party, Hook Horrors, Bullet, and the fucking random drow that was there, which we of course emerged victorious from. I took all the sassy blooms and went to get revenge against the stinky short and bald Dwergash. I mean, the fight went not really as I would have wanted it to go, because all of the misses I had whilst having a bunch of percent to hit the bald heads, but I really enjoyed switching to the deep relay and charge into like 4 or 5 zombies and knock them all down. Also Glut died during this fight, but whatever, I wouldn't help him whatsoever. I reported the spawn, got the reward and second big power spike by granting my animal kingdom have another attack each. So on the way to Auntie Ethel, I made Sassy Sickle and then battled against communists of Ethel's Union before getting down to her lair. And we also hunted the Hunter Gandrel. After all that, I killed the masks and turned to Kraus to skip all the noxious fumes problem. I've again, as in every gamey fight, set up my folk and attack Auntie. And with having 2 attacks per animal, I clear the clones very easily and deal massive damage to the Auntie. And I think that Auntie forgot to cast Speak with Animals spell because she didn't surrender to us, and I was too lazy to get out of the form, so I just casually snapped her neck in two and gave my Rina her husband's stick, because he ain't an animal, so I don't care. And I thought, okay, I'm level 5, let's kill my kin on the bridge. Spoiler, I almost got my whole party killed and almost lost the honor run, but I managed to be a coward with one of the party members to survive. Also Lae'zel was there and got wrecked just like us, but after some necromantic spells of withers, I revived my kingdom and try again. But this time, I could surprise them, and I think you can think of how it went.
Bam!
So after this, I recruited her and threw Astarion out of the party, because I don't like furries, man. And I began to skibidi-riz her so she would suck my, not stick, but pocket down there, if you remember. Also, you might think these are scammy tactics, but I don't really care. I then plummeted into the spider lair, which made me go bald for a while, because all of the teepee spiders had. But then Mother Spider fight was as easy as pouring milk into the fucking cereals. It was that simple. I stole the jewel and went to get Necromancer of Thay to combine them into a heretic bible. Next on the animals agenda was to get Burner to eat dirt, so Arcane Towers was next, in which, as I always, read the papers and of course pressed the wrong option and landed in a fight against machinery, and also instead of getting hugged, I got fucked by them and had to do a tactical escape through the elevator. But again, I revived and played the ultimate elevator strat of blocking every bot in the elevator and just knocking them down with charge attack until only Bernard was left. And then of course we killed him. I returned to the mushroom people and almost got erased off the earth by the bullet again.
Oh my god.
But we did enough damage that he borrowed never to appear again, like a coward. And then I went for my most hated fight in this game, the Spectator, which always throws quadrillions of attack moves, de-paralyzing the statues, then paralyzing my animals, then crit biting them, and then throwing yet another attack. It's actually such a mess of a fight. I hate that, despise it so much. My strat was to hit the jaws to get them out of the Spectator's tentacles and fight against him, but he still has put up a bit of a fight, and when he fell down, the drows turned on us, almost again ending the journey. But as a popular coward I am, I escaped with one of party member just to come again and casually put our claws up their asses until they exploded. And I took a raft to the Grymforge and made a mistake of going straight for the rune powder ground because I locked myself out of siding with Breathfar, or I don't know, it might have been just bugged or something. We then helped the other animals by killing bald heads together, and I've sent Gale on a kamikaze mission just to get through steel bars that basically get nothing unless we're talking about giving the Shard statue for Shadowheart. And then I started what I thought was the beginning of end of this until now pretty fun run, because I didn't have the ability to side with the bald heads and I didn't want to side with Nier, and I thought there would still be like a mini civil war between them, but no, Nier tricked them and made them all against me.
Oh.
And I even by accident killed Barkis and his friends, and I found myself in quite a pickle since I saw that I couldn't escape from this fight, so I quite literally shit my pants. So I took one of the party members, turned into Corvus and flew as far as I could until I could once again go to camp like a coward. And whilst in camp I thought of the tactics, and there came the void bulbs. So I stood on the high ground because I'm a genius and threw a bunch of void bulbs into lava to suck in the bald heads and Nier. It was a bit tricky to throw the bulbs in the right place, but I managed it, although Nier's head burned it to crisp. Not literally, but I couldn't get it for a spa. I then cleared the boars that were in the room, cleared the animated armors and burning imps. And I was so close to level 6 and unlocking the owlbear shape, I turned this game into Minecraft to get mithril ore and get XP. And by getting the amulet of laughing made me get level 6 on everyone. Now was the time to kill the big guy, and I wanted first to kill him with the forge, but it didn't work. So I casually dropped 4 owlbears one after another, dealing 100 damage each and knocking it prone. So that was rather easy. I wanted to see what would Spawn do if I didn't bring him near set, but I was surprised with the whole mushroom population of the civilization to be trying to kill me. But I realized how OP the owlbears were, and I basically stomped down on the mushrooms, making them eat the disgusting Underdark soil. Now the only thing left for us to do was, before Act 2, our kin's Creche. We chipped down the old lady HPs to bits for trying to get our egg. With Panther's wild shapes invisibility, I went to get a surprise attack on the Death Shepherds and Ghouls, and with them surprised, it was a piece of cake with having 3 owlbears jumping on the skull of them. We had the function with Elminster, and then we accepted Bluegee's quest and went back again to the first location to kill the fake owlbear, because I forgot that he existed. I then got back to the Creche and scavenged every ceremonial weapon to get the Dawn Master Crella. I then got into actual Creche peacefully, but spoiler, it didn't turn out peacefully at all in the end, and it started with the doctor trying to kill us, so we killed her and her pawns. Then I wanted the egg for a good omelette for me and Lae'zel, so again we cleared our kin, and with getting the egg, Lae'zel found me pretty hot and wanted my frog pocket later. I then went to the commander and she wanted to let me through peacefully, but I just saw her as an XP road bump, so I had to kill her, unfortunately. And as I saw that I was very close to level 7, which never happened to me, to be level 7 and still in Act 1. I just needed to do it, you know? So I cleared the whole Creche of my kin and got the level up. It was also very nice because it unlocked me minor elementals, so now everyone summoned 2 methods, and the Inquisitor fight, and after being in the Astral Prism, turned out to be like the biggest cakewalk of them all. Before all that, a long rest was used to have fun with Lae'zel. But yeah, the Inquisitor fight was so easy, and then we stole Blood of Lathander for ourselves. And all of that concludes the Animal Kingdom's journey here as we go to Act 2 through the Underdark. So I hope you enjoyed this part and you will wait for next ones. See ya!